All right, now look at the spray foam. What are they doing? I looked, it's not in the coil. Like you can see all the way through the coil, but it's blocking off a good majority of the coil. Someone went a little crazy. It's down below too.
This video is brought to you by Sportland. Quality, integrity, and tradition. This morning we are working on a little reach-in cooler. This is brand new, custom made, and apparently they're having issues with it. It looks like it's frozen up, so I'm going to try to decipher what's going on here and see if we can figure it out. It's going to be interesting getting the panel off back there. I got to take all these side panels off and get these rails out. The rails are welded to those brackets. Interesting. Okay. All right. Well, we got to do that. And then down here, it's like a brand new refrigerator. This is a warranty repair. So that controller has water damage already because of where it's located. That's smart, right? Look at the whole thing's got drips of water on it where it stands. Right. I turned the power on. Both evaporator fan motors are running. The temperature controller definitely has water damage to it, but I don't necessarily see water damage in here. I'm going to open it up and investigate it further. The compressor is hot. It's been running for a long time, probably because it's iced up, and condenser fan motor is making a funny noise. They sure did a weird job on this too. Like, look at the sensors. Like, just drilled a hole in the side of the box. That's choice, right? Interesting theory in building this box. All right, I had to download a manual for this guy, and so it's reading 55 degrees. I had to unlock it, and when you unlock it, the set point is 6 degrees. Do they really think that 6 degrees is going to work on a reach-in cooler? It's never shutting off. Now it's set for 38 degrees. Like, what the heck? That's crazy. It's set for 6 degrees. Huh. It's weird. I see the water damage, but I don't see any damage in here. I can't believe that they use such a small controller for this too. But, well, we'll see. Alright, well, let me get it defrosted now. I had to take these side panels off. They just had a bunch of speed nuts that were tightened on. Well, actually, they only had speed nuts on the front. The back ones, there was nothing on. You can see the inside is totally iced up. Bad. So we're going to get it all defrosted and go from there. Luckily, I'm over a floor drain, so I'll position the box, hopefully, so that way most of the water just goes down the back. And we'll see what else we can do. For me, I'm just going to use a water hose because I'm over a drain. Just being careful where the water's going, but shouldn't be a problem. And then I'll just make sure it's not draining onto the reach-in, like onto the controller and stuff. Looks like it's already dripping down, so doing good so far. And then we'll have to get this out of here in a minute. All right, now look at the spray foam. What are they doing? I looked, it's not in the coil. Like you can see all the way through the coil, but it's blocking off a good majority of the coil. Someone went a little crazy. It's down below too. I was worried that it was all filled in the coil, but that's not the case. It's just behind the coil. Another thing they didn't think through was when water drips, it drips right into this receptacle. This is not UL approved. There's no way. Same thing with this. I don't think they can use that kind of conduit. I don't know. People get away with a lot of weird things these days. Alright, well, I'm going to put it back together and see if it gets cold. I was able to get in there and pull most of that foam out. Like I said, it's not in the coil, but I pulled out that much. What had happened was they probably already put the coil in here when they spray foamed the back of the box. I've seen these things get made before. And they didn't seal off that hole and it just expanded all the way in. So we're going to have better airflow now. We're going to put the cover on and then, yeah, check everything else out. See if there's anything else wrong. I do have to say, for a Omnitemp knockoff, this is a pretty decent little coil. Pretty accessible. The TXV's on the top and the sensing bulb's on the top, unlike some other brands where it's down below and it's a nightmare. That's pretty cool. You know what they should have done? They should have sealed that penetration right there, because Water probably got down there. It's not a bad little evaporator coil. Looks like it's convertible too. You can convert it to a up discharge for a Moleon style coil. Side discharge. These little motors are kind of silly, but I mean, everything's going cheap for these days, but pretty simple. It's not a bad little design. All right, it is coming down to temp. It's going to be a few minutes. We're going to verify with a sensor that I have too that this is reading accurate. Sight glass is clear, and the fact that it was iced up solid indicates to me that it's not a refrigeration issue. If it was just like one corner of the coil, it might be a refrigeration issue. As far as that vibrating sound, it's like some piece of metal hitting. It's not the fan motor, I checked it. I think there's just something back there rattling. Other than that, we're just gonna watch it come down to temp. All right, this guy is at 39 degrees, and then my temp sensor's right at 40. It's not too bad, and it's still kind of dropping, so don't really have any concerns about the accuracy of that. But now I need to go through the rest of the settings. I've actually got the manual pulled up here somewhere. If I can pull it up right here. And I need to go through the manual and check the other settings, the differential and the defrost and everything, because since one of them was messed up, I wonder if everything else is messed up. Or it could be that the water got in the control and shorted it out, but it doesn't show any signs of water damage in the control. And the control has a self-lock function. I don't think the customer was getting into it, playing with it or anything. So yeah, I'll just go through all the settings now. I went ahead and changed it. They had 4 defrosts a day. I changed it to 6 for 20-minute increments. Set the set point at 37, set the differential at 3. So I'm gonna watch it go through a cycle now. It's currently satisfied, and we're like a degree off on our these settings there, like just about a degree. So we're gonna wait, give it a few minutes. I might make a temperature offset adjustment if I have to, but I'm just gonna watch it go through its cycles and make sure that it turns on and off where it's supposed to be. All right, I ended up making a temperature offset adjustment, so that way the controller and the probe actually read the same temperature, and I compared my probe to a couple other probes and they're all identical. So this now has an offset in it. We have it set for, let's see if I can remember how to do this. We have it set for 36. It's weird, this controller locks automatically. So you hold there, and now it's unlocked, and you hold that, and it's set for 37. So, okay. All right, now we're gonna watch it for a bit. I'm racking my brain over here. First off, it's set and it's adjusted accordingly. 37 to 40, it's ranging right there. We're good to go on that, okay? So I'm going crazy over here because this noise is driving me nuts. It's the damn check valve. There's a check valve right here on the discharge line. The check valve's rattling. They're using janky parts on this. I noticed it's a lot of weird, like the TXV is one of those weird brands, and nothing beats quality American made spoiling products, but you know, it is what it is. All right, this guy, I'm gonna put this back where it goes, even though I don't like the location. I didn't design the box. I'm just doing a warranty repair. I'm gonna put it back the way I found it. Even when they're brand new, they have problems. This one, you know, I don't know. It is what it is. The quality of everything is like, you know. This reach-in has some good qualities and then has some bad qualities. You can clearly see that, you know, they assembled the box and then spray foamed it afterwards, and that spray foam really got into that coil and could have been a bigger problem than it already was. If that spray foam would have gotten any worse, it would have been an issue. And then the fact that, you know, nobody checked the settings of the temperature controller before they shipped the unit out. Now, to be fair, I was kind of curious if the water damage that I saw on the display of the controller maybe got inside and made it malfunction. And that's why what you guys didn't see on camera is I watched the unit come down to temp, cycle on and off several times after it's satisfied, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, it wasn't water that caused the control to go out of whack, because sometimes that can happen. If water damage gets inside, it can just make them do goofy things. But inspection of the control itself didn't show that the water had gotten into the controller, and it had a lock setting built into the controller, so the customer wasn't in there playing with it. I certainly don't like the way that the box was designed,
but I'm not really the person to fix that stuff. Like, I actually got pushback from the manufacturer because they're like, why so expensive? And you know, I did just about everything except for sending them this video, and then last resort I'll send them the video. But you know, I usually don't really do that. I try to just, I sent them a lengthy email with pictures and everything, itemizing exactly what happened and why it happened. Worst case scenario though, I'll just send them the video, you know, and it is what it is. Now, I was there working for my customer. I wasn't working for the manufacturer, okay? When I found out the box was under warranty, I told my customer, hey, you need to call the warranty company. And the customer said, hey, the manufacturer said they don't have anybody to work on it. Can you go out? And I was like, all right, cool. My normal rates, no questions, you know? So my customer is going to pay my bill if the manufacturer doesn't, right? So you know, I'm not too worried about it there, but it is kind of funny that I did get pushback. Well, why didn't, you know, how come so much? Because the initial call was, they called us saying they had a reach-in down. And we had condemned the previous reach-in, and we didn't know they got the new one. So we thought we were going out to gas it up again because it had leaks. And then when we got there, it's like, oh, this is a brand new cooler. And then my technician called me and said, hey, it's brand new. And I said, stop what you're doing. So then he stopped, left, went on to something else. And then we contacted the corporate office and said, hey, you need to call the warranty company. And then a day or two went by, and then they came back and said, hey, they don't got nobody. Can you go out and do it? And I was like, all right, cool. You know, so we did. And then you get pushback, and I'm like, hey, don't be pushing back on me. I'm there to fix stuff. Like, you know, I don't play the politics game. So regardless, I just sent an email today, you know, documenting everything, and that's it. You know, you know, I'm not there to reinvent their unit. If I was, I'd be doing a lot of different things. I'd be waterproofing a lot of things, moving receptacles, moving temperature controllers, putting brackets, different things, taking that stupid check valve out that doesn't need to be there. I'd be doing a lot of that stuff. But, you know, again, I'm just there. You know, I was very careful, like the first invoice that I sent, when I sent my invoice, I didn't want to throw the customer under the bus. Like, I was really polite, just said, you know, it found the controller to be out of adjustment, adjusted it, boom. And I was very vague with the email, with the work order description. And then they gave pushback. So then I sent them a lengthy, like, breaking down everything. Like, all right, you want to play that game? And then I made sure I sent it to my customer, and then my customer forwarded it to them. So I'm like, hey, now the customer knows, you know, the issues. And then the next step, if they have any more pushback, is for me to go ahead and send the video, which the video is pretty plain and simple. I mean, come on, guys. Like, that was ridiculous. It was just pure negligence in the way that the box was designed. But try not to get too crazy with all that stuff, and it is what it is. But I really appreciate you making it to the end of the video. If you haven't already, I say it all the time, but please consider going to my website, hvacrvideos.com. Got merchandise, hats, different things available. It's a great way to help support the channel. Also, if you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my YouTube channel. You know, it's lots and lots of videos, obviously. You guys are seeing this one, but, you know, there's always a possibility you're not subscribed. Turn on notifications too. Definitely helps you to know when I notify, you know, when I put out new content. If you're interested in supporting the channel, the easiest way to support the channel is just watch the videos from beginning to end. That's the simplest way. Of course, there's other ways, right? If you want to go to truetechtools.com, use my offer code BIGPICTURE. On checkout, you get an 8% discount on almost all the items on their website. Now, there's a few things my discount doesn't apply to, but almost all the items, you get a discount, and when you do use my offer code, I get a small commission. So that's a great way to help support the channel too. Also, you can support the channel via PayPal, Patreon, and YouTube channel memberships. There's links in the show notes of each video. But like I already said, and I keep saying it again, the easiest way to support the channel is simply watch the videos from beginning to end. That's the easiest way, all right? I really, really appreciate you all, and we will definitely catch you on the next one, okay?